When did a civilian thank you in an unforgettable way? I was in uniform at the Atlanta airport during a layover when an elderly man approached me, handed me a folded piece of paper, and walked away without saying a word, leaving me with a letter that changed how I understood what service really means. I was traveling home on leave, exhausted from a year in Iraq, and just wanting to get through the airport without any attention. I'd learned to keep my head down because sometimes interactions with civilians could be awkward or political. This old man, probably in his 80s, spotted me sitting at my gate and slowly walked over. He was well-dressed, using a cane, and had this determined look on his face that made me think he was going to lecture me about something. Instead, he simply pressed a folded paper into my hand, patted my shoulder gently, and said, "Thank you, son. Read this when you get home." Then he turned and walked away before I could respond. I stuck the paper in my pocket and forgot about it until I was unpacking at home 2 days later. When I unfolded it, I found a handwritten letter that started with, "To the soldier who reminds me of my boy." The letter explained that his son had been killed in Vietnam in 1968, just 3 weeks before coming home. For 50 years, this man had carried guilt about not being able to tell his son how proud he was and how much his service meant. He wrote that every time he saw a young soldier, he thought about his son and wished he could have one more conversation. The letter described how his son used to write about wanting to make a difference, to protect people who couldn't protect themselves. The most powerful part was when he wrote, "I know I can't bring my boy home, but I can make sure soldiers like you know that your sacrifice matters to families like mine, who understand the cost of freedom." At the bottom, he'd included a photo of his son in his Vietnam-era uniform. The resemblance between us was striking. Same age, same build, same determined expression. The letter also contained a $20 bill with a note saying, "Buy yourself a good meal when you get home." My boy never got that chance. I kept that $20 bill in my wallet for years, never spending it. He ended the letter with his name and address, asking me to write back if I wanted to. I did, and we exchanged letters for 3 years until he passed away. His daughter sent me a final note saying he'd found peace knowing his gratitude had reached the right soldiers. That letter taught me that sometimes gratitude isn't about politics or grand gestures. Sometimes it's about a father who never got to tell his son he was proud, finding peace by telling other soldiers what he wished he could have said.